And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final video of this Season 2. So we are at now the Season 2 finale, round 21, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, for, again, the final round of the Formula 1 calendar. As you will all know right now, Sebastian Vettel is the world champion and will be defending world champion for Season 3. Daniel Ricciardo right now could secure second place at this Grand Prix. However, he's got to defend off the likes of Kimi Raikkonen and Valtteri Bottas to secure what would be second in the Drivers' Championship. Also, I don't know whether Lewis Hamilton's in that mixture or not. I don't think he is. Or if he is, he would have to win the Grand Prix, I think, or something along that lines, to basically get P2. But I highly doubt that would be the case. So yeah, any one of the top, really four, or from second to fifth is still not decided, really. I would say at this late stage in the championship, it's highly likely that Kimi Raikkonen will finish third, Ricciardo first and second, Valtteri Bottas fourth, and Hamilton fifth. For us, obviously, we can still grab P7. It's highly unlikely again, and we can still be demoted down to P9, but it would require Leclerc to win at minimum, and us to virtually finish no lower, to finish 8th or lower, for that to happen. And as you can probably tell, it's probably not going to happen. Even though there have been one or two surprise results this season, so I don't want to rule it out. I don't want to count my sheep too soon, as they say. Anyway. Nico Hulkenberg is probably going to wrap up 10th. Ocon will be 11th. So you can just imagine what that the finishing championship order will be. But anyway, let's get into round number 20 then. 21, sorry, for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And obviously, I've brought out this video slightly early, just so I can hopefully get a video in tomorrow to start Season 3 early, a little bit earlier than I planned. If not, Season 3 will start either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, one of them 3 days. I'm not going to make any promises on which day it will start, because obviously I have to see what my schedule's like. Obviously, as you guys know, right now, my schedule for this week's been a bit good. Well, it's been good, I would say. So that's why I've been able to bring out quite a few videos within this short time frame. However, obviously that ain't always going to be the case, of course. Anyway, into free practice then we go for the first practice session of the weekend, of course. Let's see what we can do. Obviously, we are very, very close. Also, another thing, we're very, very close to 800 laps. In fact, we are 19 laps shy of that 800 mark, and that's the challenge this weekend. I'm confident we will get that achievement. Obviously, I think we'll probably achieve it at around lap 5 in the race, of course. And that will be a huge achievement, of course. And then the next milestone is 1,000 laps, of course. So, in my opinion, your milestones are 100 laps, of course, 500, 800, then 1,000. So we've already got to almost 801, 781. So we only need 19 more laps to do. So we're going to go out. We may also take some grid penalties this weekend, so we can just go out racing, really. And we don't have to worry about the engine, but we'll have to wait and see on that front. I'm not going to make any promises or any guarantees at that. Anyway, we'll get on then with the lap here at the Yas Marina Bay circuit. It's a nice circuit, this one, of course. One of my favourite modern day circuits added to the calendar back in 2009. And you know what? I think this is the perfect venue always to end the season, in my opinion. It sort of, you know, sets the tone for every single circuit across the calendar, in a way. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not a brilliant circuit, but it does provide fairly decent racing, and it doesn't overload us. So, you know, it's fairly good circuit for, I think, the last race on the calendar. And in terms of the location and in terms of where it's based, it's actually based in one of the richest countries in the world, of course. In terms of people living in the country, Abu Dhabi, of course, is home to the United Arab Emirates. And as you know, out in that part, you got, I think it's the Sharad or something. You got something anyway. The Burj Khalifa, that's it. I just thought about that. You got the Burj Khalifa. You got all them posh, fancy, 5-star, you know, skyscrapers, and obviously you've also got a load of yachts, and all that, and boats, and hotels, obviously. So if, you know, you ever go to this country, it's meant to be really, really hot as well. In terms of weather's meant to be good. Like, their winter is basically our summer, and our summer is basically the winter. So yeah, anyway, going around final corner then, turn 21 here, 21 corners on this racetrack, and getting the purple score. So that's another lap off the books for that, and now we'll move on swiftly into the race strategy, which will help form some data for the race, and obviously will be much better for us, of course. So just got a Red Bull in front of us, but that should not affect things anyway, you know, in this practice session right now. But yeah, the aim for weekend is obviously, like always, to score points. I think that's got to always be your #1 target. But at the same time, I think we, you know, depending on where we start, I think it would have to be realistic, not to over-expect or massive points, maybe a point, if that. So it does depend on where we start, whether we take grid penalties or not. Anyway, on with then the race strategy. So we're up on our current target delta right now, as you'd expect. We're on the ultra soft tyre, which is the, I think, second softest compound right now, or at this racetrack. So that's good, of course. And I do like this racetrack. It is a very, very nice racetrack. I've probably mentioned it once already. Also, you do have Ferrari World around here, and I believe it's to the right somewhere. So yeah, just thought I'd say that. But yeah, anyway. So right now, just focusing on my practice delta and program sort of thing, just so I can get in the necessary data for final race so we can get maximum resource points. Remember, this will be the race where also you get to see what team I choose for next season, Season 3. Will I be staying with Williams? That is the ultimate question. I'm really, really not sure at the moment. Even coming into this late stage, I've got to make a decision soon. Put it that way, though. So right now, Sergei Sorokin is ahead of me in terms of lap time, which is good for him. Now, at this circuit, I say the AI and the player are very evenly matched, which makes racing quite good here, in my opinion. So neither one of us has the advantage over another, if that makes sense. So it just makes racing that more interesting. Also remember, every lap we do, we are closer to that 800 lap count, which I'm aiming to achieve this weekend at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But on my calculation, we will be able to do it. Alright, so that's now our third overall lap, I believe. So that takes us up to 784 laps completed. So this will be our 700. That was our 785th lap. Obviously, right now it's only practice, so there's not much importance to this right now, apart from getting in the data necessary, required for the race. Next season, I am gonna actually start doing also maybe some different practice programs, because I feel like you guys might be getting a little bit bored of maybe me doing the same practice programs. It could become a bit tedious, of course, because you know what I'm going to do. So I might shake it up a little bit next season and do some other programs. Because obviously, well, don't get me wrong, I'm very comfortable with these practice programs. So even for me, it'd be actually challenging myself to do some others, if you know what I mean. Which then makes it a little bit more interesting for you guys, of course, and yeah, just makes it a bit more fun and more related, of course, to you, if you know what I mean. Like, it's nice to have, like, it's nice to, as I was saying, it's nice to, you know, of course, do different stuff. So that's us practice programs done now. Our 2 for the weekend, like usually. It'll still be 2, but what I mean by I might change up, I might do, like, let's say, tyre management and fuel. If you see what I mean, fuel management. You know, because obviously then you get maybe a different, or a variety, or more variety, or I may just spice it up a bit more in terms of general, like, might mix them up a bit more. Right, anyway, into now, let's see how we did. So we finished 15th, not bad, can't be too complacent. I am going to take a grid penalty though, most likely. I might just change everything for the race. So I may do qualifying, see where we come, and then if we come in a good position, then I won't change much. But if we come in a bad position, I'll probably change every single component on our car for the race, of course. So anyway, we'll see what happens then in this final qualifying session for final time, of course. And yeah, we'll see where we end up, of course. Will we get a nice result? Hopefully we will, of course. That's the aim. The aim is obviously to go as high as possible, like always. I'm pretty sure you know the aim by now. But yeah, you know, obviously that's the aim. Also, just another quick question. Anyone, please, if you're new to the channel, give this video a thumbs up and leave a like if that's okay. Comment down below, feel free to do whatever you like, comment whatever you like, as long as it's not rude or disrespectful towards me, then I am happy, and also not disrespectful towards anyone. No disrespect is tolerated on my channel, and no racism or anything or bullying is related on my channel, so I just want to put that out there. But also subscribe if you're new as well, on a positive note, and hit that bell icon. You're very much welcome, and everyone is welcome at this channel. There's no there's no segregation, if you know what I mean. Like, there's no it's not like I'm saying no one's welcome. Everyone's a customer, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we're going to just put a quick setup on the car before we go out now into the qualifying, 4-hour qualifying. We're going to run 7 4-wings here, so we have more front downforce than rear. That hopefully will help the car at the front, hopefully, and give us a bit more grip around the tight, twisty corners, obviously, mainly predominantly in the last sector. But also, the first sector does have 1 or 2 twisty corners, of course, which we have to be aware of around here, because obviously they do slow the car down, and quite significantly. Anyway, out then of the pits we come, under the bridge here. Quite unique circuit this is for the bridge, if you know what I mean. It's one of the only circuits to have that pit exit sort of type style. Like, so yeah, you know, it is quite nice. Now, if we're going to be fitting anything new, it will be a ICE, an internal combustion engine, and also it will be the gearbox that will be fitted to the car. That would be new, so just want to make you aware of that. But yeah, anyway, into our first braking zone, obviously here. Usually coming in there at quite high speed, just over 200 miles per hour, and you head down into the next corner, also hitting 200 miles per hour as well. Obviously right now we're not anywhere near that. We're doing a out lap, forming our way not to the grid, but to start our hot lap, of course. Hopefully it'll be hot. Obviously, thing is about this circuit, usually when the circuit gets darker, the circuit does actually tend to get faster. So towards the end, you could actually find around ½ a second improvement, usually, around a circuit like this with quite good ease. And the best drivers will be able to find a second sometimes around here. Anyway, coming into the final corner. Out of the final corner, then across the start-finish line, and then down into turn 1. Hitting 4th gear around here, no need to go lower or higher. Then around here, flat out through this segment of track. A little bit of a small lift, and as you can tell, I went a bit wide, just messed up the entry a little bit. We will use a flashback, because obviously it's our first lap, it's a banker lap, never going to be your best. We'll just flash it back from here, then we don't gain any advantage. That's what I meant to do then, ladies and gents. Sort of. Still weren't perfect. But anyway. We're in like T5 or T7 now. Out of the hairpin. Down the back finish straight. So this is the back straight. Not finish straight, because it ain't the finish line. If you know what I mean. Made a small error. Then into this heavy braking zone. You sort of want to jump over these curbs, hit them lightly, but they do unbalance the car. Then down this next straight here, again coming into another fairly heavy braking zone. Want to run one tire over that red strip. Usually it helps. Don't matter if you're wide out there. Then into the next bit. So this is, I think, where Nico Rosberg had his famous crash back in 2012, of what I'm aware. Then through the next few segments of corners, run it out wide, close to the barrier as you dare. Then into the next segment, a little bit off camber, then across the line. We go 4th fastest right now overall. And we're going to turn down the engine. So it's only a banker lap, that first lap, obviously. Ain't anything special, as you all know. But hopefully we'll find a little bit more pace on the next lap going into it. Because yeah, that's what we want. So obviously this is Raikkonen by me. He's just done a lap, so we're not impeding him. Alright. So it's quite congested behind me.
1 lap of fuel remaining.
So obviously this is only an in lap, so this ain't a qualifying lap, so that's why we are going slow. And then we're going to put on a new set of tyres, go out for one last time for a final lap in Season 2. And hopefully it'll be a good one. Can we out-qualify our teammate? And if not, would this be the first time we've been out-qualified? Like, when was the last time I was out-qualified? Oh, it had to have been some time ago. I would have thought, because we have out-qualified and out-raced our teammate more or less every single race this year. I can't remember any races where he's out-raced me. Like, Australia, it certainly wasn't Australia. I just can't remember the last time he out-qualified me. Or out-raced me. You know. I remember, obviously, Austria, he scored a point, but he never, ever out-raced me. So, yeah.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:37.2.
Right. So we're going to fit on some new tyres just to give us a bit more grip in the final lap then that we will do. So we'll go out around the 2-minute mark. So I'll tell you when we're going to go now. So here we go then, going out for a final lap then, for the final time then. What can we do right now? Obviously, we're not in the greatest position ever. We're behind our teammate. And we're now dead last, in fact. So, I just want to have a look, quickly, how much time we have to improve by. My teammate's 14th, wow. He's done a fabulous job, can't doubt that. So 1:36.2. Wow, we have a lot of time then to make up, I believe. So just gonna come slowly out of the pits then, and we'll merge onto the track. And obviously, as you can tell, it is much darker. Just getting nicely out of the way of Daniel Ricciardo. I think he's on an in lap, of what I'm aware, and of what I can tell. There's no rush to get around that quickly, because we are about 30 seconds or 20 seconds ahead of our time, so we do have to remember that. Because from here it's about 30 or 40 second dash to the line. can tell, we are way ahead of that. So just again our way of Lewis Hampton. But keeping tyres nice and warm. Alright, now we're going for it. No, I'm not going to speed too much on this lap. And across start finish line we go. So right now we're currently down on our target time, or our delta, by 0.2. And we're now up on our delta by 0.2. Right, we're 1.2 up, so this is going to be a very nice improvement, I would have thought. 1.4. And what is that? That was a good improvement. P12, fantastic improvement. I said it, that, you know, if we had the car, you know, we had that pace. So yeah. Very, very nice indeed. Like, yeah. And I love them type of laps where you're dead last and then you find that so much time, or when you're down in the dumps, if you know what I mean. Like, and that was that lap. We found so much time from virtually a lap previously that was just absolute garbage, in all honesty. And that, yeah, I think there was a mistake at first in the first quarter of the lap, but the rest of it was very clean. It was fast, it was quick, so it wasn't, you know, like we didn't improve anywhere. We did improve, especially throughout the middle and the last sector. So that where the time was missing in our first lap, obviously in the actual first half of the lap, in fact, we were down, so that shows me we actually maximised the first bit of the lap on the first lap. Anyway, so of what I'm aware, it's a 13-lap race, so I hope that with our calculations being correct, we should get the 800 lap mark this weekend. If not, we'll miss out by one lap. But yeah, I just hope that we will get that 800 lap mark. If it's a 14 lap race, then definitely we're going to hit the 800. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. So, what's your predictions? Will we hit the 800 lap mark? Or will we not? We're also going to take a new gearbox, because I fancy taking one. So right, there we go, into the race, and we've got new gearbox, new engine. So we are going to take of what I'm aware, a 16-place grid penalty or a 15-place grid penalty. So that drops us back into 20-something. It drops us, I know it drops us back somewhere. Drops us back into 27th, that's it. And then obviously they're applied in whatever order they've received, of course. So we'll have to wait and see where we start.
Yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Esteban Ocon, and Alonso, Perez, Hülkenberg, Sainz, and Charles Leclerc. Vettel, they've taken a grid penalty. Ericsson, Pierre Gasly, and Hamilton, Sirotkin, Magnussen, Brendan Hartley, and Roman Grosjean.
So right, yeah, we're starting dead last then in this race,
The final race of the
and
season.
it's a
Go out
14
there
lap race, so
and
yeah,
enjoy
we
it.
should make it lap 13 of what I'm aware. We will have completed, oh, we'll take 10th place, that's it. So yeah, lap 13, we should, in theory, let me just have a check. At the end of lap 13, we will have completed 800 laps, if my maths is correct. So I just want to double check it to make sure via my phone calculator, if you know what I mean. So let's have a quick look. 787. Oh, 787 plus the 13. So yeah, by lap 13, at the end of it, we will have completed 800 laps. Then, in fact, we will have, on lap 14, by the end of that, completed 801 laps. So,
We don't want to book down.
yeah. So that's just some news for you guys. Obviously, we do have fresh tyres. Hopefully, we make it a good one. And for final race in Season 2, hopefully it will be relatively successful. Because obviously, yeah, that's, you know, what I want to achieve. A relatively successful race. I know not all races can be, maybe go exactly according to plan. But hopefully this will. So just warming up tyres. Everyone will be obviously going through this very slow hairpin. Have to watch out because obviously through there the cars do get bunched up quite a bit. Obviously first corner is also another one because you're all running side by side more or less. So just warming up tyres vigorously then, should I say. And yeah, obviously aim is to finish inside the points if possible. If not, race my teammate. So for the final time this season, we also out-qualified my teammate. I think that's a clean sweep without qualifying my teammate this season. Maybe Monaco was the other one, and Azerbaijan. Maybe Monaco was the last time we didn't out-qualify a teammate, or my teammate. And then before that, Azerbaijan, I would have said. But oh yeah, Singapore maybe, possibly Singapore. I'm not sure where we qualified in Singapore. So them 3 races, we probably got out qualified, let's say, and we definitely were out raced in them. So yeah. All right. So coming through final corner then, as we all now start to line up on the grid. Max Verstappen on pole for the final race of the season in Season 2. Of course. However, we will be starting dead last for the final race. As the lights now begin to turn on, 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we all go for the final race of the season. It's been a very good start for Roman Grosjean. However, we will go down the inside and get a little bit involved. He's been forced off the track slightly, but we're up into 18th more or less. So can't be too disappointed with that. Just keeping our nose clean as we plummet our way down into what I believe is turn 4 and 5. Then into turn 6. So, Hartley and Magnussen are obviously right now in front of us, looking for a good launch off this corner. If we get one, that would be great. I don't think we quite got a good launch, or a launch as much as we wanted, so it won't really affect us too much. But we're picking up a double slipstream here from Kevin Magnussen and Brendan Hartley, because obviously we ran into the back. We'll use a flashback from here. But we sort of my fault in a way. Alright, so we don't gain any places anyway. I didn't want any damage to my car. But anyway, we've not made a bad start, not made a flying start. As we now go into the final sector now. Magnussen just in front of me right now. Obviously, in theory, we've got the faster car, especially from recent races. But obviously, this circuit is more technical, which obviously makes it a completely harder circuit to drive in a car like this. It requires a lot more downforce, this circuit does, and less so about the engine power, so you can actually get more mixed results. First sector is all about the engine, and you can just see how much power we've got compared to Kevin Magnussen through the middle or through the first sector. And that's us up into P17 quite nicely. And so we will breeze away from Kevin Magnussen then, and we'll look at Brendan Hartley, who's in P16 of course right now, just behind my teammate who's in P15 of what I'm aware. Yep, he's in P15. And getting a little bit too much curb there. But nonetheless, we are in the slipstream, we are coming, we're gaining now, starting to slowly close the gap on Hartley. Hartley not leaving any room at all. We were down the inside and Hartley's just flung us into the barrier. That was not my fault at all. We were easily within our rights to go down the inside, as you'll see. Okay, yeah, we probably broke a little bit early at first, we sort of hesitated the maneuver. But at that point, okay, Hartley should realise we're there and should start moving actually out, away from the corner. But no, instead keeps on steering into me. And then obviously doesn't leave me any room here. And then just flings me into the wall. Doesn't even give me... I don't even go into him. He comes into me. Because how am I... Unless he wants me to cut that corner. Then yeah. So I'm going to use instant replay again, and I'm really, really sorry to do it, because, you know, obviously it ain't my fault, and it was a AI mistake, and don't get me wrong, when the AI makes stupid mistakes, that was my fault, but when the AI makes stupid mistakes, okay, don't get me wrong, why should I have to pay the consequence for something that's not really my fault. Anyway, we'll get on with this race. We'll stop complaining. Been 2 incidences now. One of which, yeah, I'll hold my hands up, certainly is my mistake. But the other, 100% wasn't my mistake. And Hartley was to blame for that. So, it's a very, very clear-cut situation, I think that one was. But anyway, we're on lap 3 now, and we're looking to close down on Sergei Sorokin, of course, and we're actually behind Lewis Hamilton almost. Now, Lewis Hamilton having a poor race. Obviously, Lewis Hamilton is your last race winner from the Brazilian Grand Prix. Just thought I'd make that very, very clear. So, yeah, and he got his first win, in fact, it's since the USA Grand Prix in Season 1. So, Lewis Hamilton, having a bit of difficult times now at Mercedes. Will we be his teammate next year, or will we stay at, or will we stay at the Williams team? That is the question, I guess, for you guys.
Okay, we've got plenty of energy. Switch to overtake and have a go.
Right, on to lap 4 now. And we're now on our 91st lap, by the way. So just thought I'd say that, just to give you a heads up. Obviously, when we get to lap 13, it will be our 800th lap on the game in a Williams.
They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
So, bad news for Lewis Hamilton. Got some sort of issue with the car. This car seeming a bit more twitchy at the moment, I will say that. So, will this issue affect Lewis massively, or what? How will the issue affect this race? Obviously, my teammate is straight in front of me at the moment. Whoa, we've overshot that. Just about keeping our nose clean. Right, sort of got to get into a rhythm at the moment, still not quite in one.
If you think you can get past, increase
So
ERS
in comes my
deployment to
teammate,
overtake mode.
into the pits he comes,
Sergey is
so
in the
we'll
pits.
inherit
Sergey
P15.
in the pits.
Are we boxing this lap? I'm not sure. Full race update.
P15. You're in P15. Hamilton ahead. The gap is less than a second. They're on old hypersofts. They seem to have an issue. Magnussen is behind you. The gap to the car behind is 3.8 seconds. They're on old hypersofts. Your pit window opens next lap. There are 10 laps to go.
Right. Hopefully we'll get past Hamilton here. Let's see, he's got DRS. We've got DRS. Gonna put the car into overtake mode. No, I'm not gonna go for it. Right. And we breeze past Lewis Hamilton there.
Gap to car in front is 1.5 seconds.
So we're now in P14, however, because my teammate's made a pit stop and is in clean air and on fresh tyres, he will effectively be or inherit P14 potentially.
This lap, so push now.
So we just inherited P10, so we're now officially in the points. However, once we make our pit stop, we'll be no longer in the points. Probably be, I'd say, P15 behind my teammate right now. Let me see where it's saying that will come out. Saying will come out in 20th, so yeah, we'll be right behind my teammate. Question is though, how much behind my teammate? Now, thing is though, even though we'll be behind him, we will have the fresher tyres to get us to the end of the Grand Prix. So, in a way, we're at a disadvantage in terms of position, but in terms of tyre wise, we're in fact at a advantage. And we're really closing up to the back of Pierre Gasly here, who's in P9. Right, into the pits we come. There will be a clean pit stop, I would have thought.
Release, release.
Right, we're going to also jump Pierre Gasly whilst we're at it. So this is going to be close between me and my teammate, just to let you know. He should out or come out ahead of me. Will he come out ahead massively? No, not by much. In fact, he's right there for the taking. I'll most likely have him in a lap or two. So this is bad news for my teammate, who's obviously going to end up in trouble in a second. First, he will have signs on his tail, and then he will have me on his tail. So this is really, really bad news. And if I'm right, is he on the hyper soft tyre? Why would he do that? He's going for a two-stop race strategy. Don't get me wrong, if as a safety car it'd make maybe a bit of sense to convert onto the hypers, but no, not even then actually. What madness this is. Unless my teammate was on Ultras before, I can't remember being on any Ultras. I'm pretty sure he was also on the hypers. My teammate has used hyper softs, so yeah, he's only been on the hypers. Oh my days. And why did he make a pit stop then? How unnecessary was that pit stop? So even though I've been demoted, what, down to 18th again, I'm going to inherit back all them positions anyway. Plus I've inherited one off Gasly. But I'm also, in a way, going to inherit Sergei Sorokin's position, eventually. Or P12 or P13, should I say. So Sergei Sorokin's in an awful position right now. And we're right on the tail of Carlos Sainz. Making a bit of contact with him, no damage though to the car. You see, he locks up. And we get past Carlos Sainz, who obviously made a small lock-up. Got past cleanly though. Well, small corner cut there. Won't make too much of a difference. Alright, next up is my teammate, who's on a very odd strategy. I don't know what they were thinking at Williams on the pit wall. Is this deliberate? Well, as you can see, he's in the pits now for a second stop, and he will have fresher tyres, but he will no way be able to make up that much time in a race. Like, in my opinion, it's just insane what they've done. They've committed suicide to his race. And it's ridiculous, that is. That is literally suicide to his race. I know that's strong language, but honestly, that's what they've done. Because there's no way he's going to be able to make up. Ooh, there's no way he's going to be able to make up an entire pit stop over me. Absolutely none in the earth. Unless I go as slow as a snail right now. Maybe, but it's just not going to happen.
3.1 seconds.
Right, interesting strategy, I will say that.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Very interesting. Anyway, we're coming on to lap 10, so this will be, of what I'm aware, our 97th lap. Our 797th lap is gone now, more or less. So we're approaching that 800 lap count very, very quickly now. So we're moments or laps away from the 800 laps. Right now, I think Max Verstappen is having a fairly comfortable race out in front at the moment. Not been challenged too much. As Sainz is approaching, will he be able to do it? Down the inside, Carlos Sainz goes, we leave in the room. Of course, we'll have the inside line for the next corner, and we grasp our way in front of Carlos Sainz in there. But he will have a DRS one more time then, down the next straight. And again, not allowing Sainz through. And that could be a crucial blockage for Sainz. What is it with me and P12? I don't know. Like, it's not been a all-season thing recently, but yeah. Now, something's happened, I think, to my teammate, because I've just noticed something on the radar. What's going on here? Did he spin or what? He looked very slow. On the mini-map, he looked so slow. Was it him, though? Nothing seems to happen here. I don't know then why it looks so slow on the mini-map. Honestly. As I said, you know, my teammate won't be able to make up the time that he's just lost. Because he's lost way too much. Like, but don't get me wrong, it's even a struggle for me to get close to the guys in front. And it's even a struggle for Sainz now to bounce back. Like, it's not because, you know, it's not because this circuit's bad for racing or anything, it's just because we're all on same strategies, of course, and you're just never going to make up that amount of time in a 7 lap or in a 5 lap. You need to be a lot more, you'd have to have a significantly faster car, if that makes sense, over your opponent. Now we are gaining time, of what I can tell, on the group ahead. Bit of a traffic jam coming up, so actually our points on the radar as we start now our 799th lap, then, to be precise, to let you know. So this will be the lap, or next lap will be our 800 lap, so this is actually our last 700th lap then, sort of thing, if you know what I mean. Only one more lap to go till we get to the 800 mark. Cannot wait for one. Will we get to 800? just keeping the car nice and calm right now. Making sure no mistakes are made as we approach the 800 lap mark. As we're also very, very close to also points as well. So we're only a lap or a few corners away from starting our 800th Formula 1 lap, driving as a Williams driver. One more corner to go. We have now started our 800th lap of our Formula 1 career as a Williams driver. On lap 13, hopefully we'll complete it successfully. Let's see what we can do. In fact, what I am going to do for this one lap, or the next 2 laps, I'm going to turn up the ERS. And let's see what we can do on the 800th lap. Then, and just to let you know, my teammate, of what I'm aware, has also completed his 800 lap, or is on his 800th lap, because we've been in the team exactly the same amount of time technically, because he started in 2018. So if he had another season, this would be his 800th lap as well, as a Williams driver. Sort of thing, you get the idea. Anyway, we're coming around then, final few corners to complete 800 laps here. So on our 800th lap, what time will we set? Will it be a personal best? I don't think it will. But anyway, so 1:39.7 on our 800th lap as we start now. Technically also our 801st lap, so the one lap for luck, as they say. So we're about to start our 801st lap, but we've started it now. So, only a few more corners to negotiate before Season 2 is officially over. How will we negotiate the final few corners? Daniel Ricciardo is your race winner, ladies and gentlemen, and that means he secures P2 in the championship, of course. As we come around the final 2 corners ourselves, where will we finish? It's going to be P12. And that is Season 2 now complete. Season 2 is now done and dusted. And we completed 801 laps overall now in our career, which is fantastic. Daniel Ricciardo is your race winner. Then...
And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart
from
the competition here.
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
So here come our winning drivers today, and what a race it was. There's been a big push at the factory lately to get these cars ready, and we can see the fruits of that labour today as Red Bull lift the winner's trophy.
So there we go then. So final podium then for Daniel Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez then there. So yeah, good race result for them. I'll just give you your top 10 then quickly. So Daniel Ricciardo finishing on, as your race winner, Valtteri Bottas in second, and third Sergio Perez. Fourth is our pole sitter Max Verstappen. Fifth Esteban Ocon. Sixth Kimi Raikkonen, and seventh is Charles Leclerc. And eighth is Sebastian Vettel, your 5-time champion, alongside Lewis Hamilton and Season 2 champion Sebastian Vettel, so he's going to be defending champion of next year. The ninth is Marcus Ericsson, and 10th is Nico Hulkenberg then. So that is your top 10. In terms of your bottom 10, there you go. I'll just let you scan through them quickly. But yeah, what was going on then there with Sergei Sorokin? Because yes, Sergei Sorokin pitted twice, 2 stops. What was that all about? Honestly, unnecessarily, and that was. I don't think he had an issue with his car, so it can't be related to that. So yeah, God knows what did that. Anyway, there is for the final time your championship result then. So there we go. Sebastian Vettel is your champion for season 5. Now season 2, sorry. Daniel Ricciardo taking second place, then securing that, and Kimi Raikkonen taking third. Fourth is Valtteri Bottas. Fifth is Lewis Hamilton. Sixth, Red Bull Racing's Max Verstappen, and 7th is Sergio Perez. 8th is us, George Russell, and 9th is Charles Leclerc, and in 10th is Esteban Ocon. And once again, I'll let you scan down from 11th to 20th quickly before we move on to the constructors' standings. So now, going to move on now to the constructors' standings, and as you can see, Ferrari are the Constructors' Champions, followed by Red Bull Racing and Mercedes in third. Fourth is Force India. Fifth, Sauber. Sixth is Williams Racing, so we do get demoted down to sixth after that by only, of what I'm aware, 1 point made the difference. Just shows how close it was between us, Force India, Sauber, and Renault. 8th is McLaren, 9th Haas, and 10th is Toro Rosso. So there we go. That is Season 2 done and dusted then, for one final time. Season 3 will begin either tomorrow, if I do get time to upload a video. If not, it will start on either Friday or Saturday, one of them 2 days. 3 days technically, but yeah. So, just gonna quickly answer some of these questions.
Would you say we all underestimated you?
I'm just gonna say that quickly.
Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash?
Right, I'm just gonna say that then.
Great. Well, that's
and that is that done. So that's the media interviews done then, obviously, and dusted. So yeah, we'll obviously now get into the next part, obviously. So should we re-sign for Williams? That is the ultimate question, of course. If we do re-sign for Williams, then, you know,
nice job this
like,
season.
I'm just wondering, should we re-sign or should we go elsewhere?
Like,
Like, in terms of resource points,
my 10%'s getting more valuable.
we will have a lot,
Keep up the good work next
but
year.
will we be able to make enough upgrades to compete with the likes of Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari, of course, who are the defending champions, of course. And the thing is, I don't just want to win the drivers, I also would like to win a constructors. So 6,000 resource points.
Maybe
Or
we can adjust the terms of our proposal. The more ambitiously we set our targets, the more willing the team will be to give us.
So I'll just
better
run you
rates.
through the
We'll
options.
have a few chances to suggest a deal, but we need to be careful. If
So we have
propose
6,000
contract
resource
exceeds your value
points,
to the team, it will
or
be
we could
rejected,
move
and
teams.
too many attempts will leave us stuck with the
And I
original
was
offer.
thinking if
From
we do
here,
move
we change the
teams,
team that we're negotiating
we
with.
should move to one
There's
of
no rule
these.
saying you need to stay in the same seat forever. Selecting a team here only affects the negotiation.
But then again,
The actual move won't take place until the following race weekend.
if we do stay, if you know what I mean, we will have 6,000 resource points. But is that enough? I think, you know what? I would have to have this contract. If they don't give me this contract, I would have to leave. And I'm sorry to say. I know this seems arrogant.
We're asking for too much here. We need to make some
Okay.
compromises.
I think that seems fair.
They aren't coming round to that proposal.
Right, so
Let's
they're
try
not
something
coming
else.
around to that. I'm gonna leave and
Let's
switch
consider the
into another
benefits of
car.
moving to another team.
It'd have to be Mercedes. Right, I'm gonna set our qualifying target as 8th and race target as 5th. So 3rd, 2, and then maybe a 3 or a 2. Let's see, please.
Okay, everyone's
Yes.
happy with that proposal and we're locked in. From the next
Right.
race weekend, you'll officially be racing for a new
We
team.
are
So we better
now
start getting ready for the move.
a Mercedes driver from next race, of course, the Australian Grand Prix. It'll be our first new team in the career mode, obviously, and we're going to look to bring Mercedes back to hopefully the top of the grid. As you can see, they have slipped away in recent races, but hopefully, yeah. We'll jump obviously forward to season 3, just so you can see where we are in the, what you call it, in the, like order, pecking order, and so I know where we are in pecking order, because it's always exciting to know where you are in the pecking order, if that makes sense, because obviously I know we could be at the best team now on the grid, so we'll have to see. Obviously a disadvantage, we are starting literally from 0.
Alright, welcome back. It's going to be one heck of a season, I think. To be honest, I don't think we've done the best job maintaining our performance through this regulation change. Though we're going to be playing a bit of catch-up this year. We're counting on you, but you've got the whole team behind you.
Right. So we are partnering up with Valtteri Bottas, so how much of a
Welcome back. I
concern
hope you've kept yourself fighting fit.
is
We've got
that?
another tough season ahead of us. I've been in touch with some contacts at Toro Rosso.
Right.
I think your attitude and results.
In
might
all
be a good fit for that
honesty,
team.
yes, it's
We can talk
disappointing, we're
about
not
contract
the
review if
best,
you're interested.
but that is
Let's
really
see what kind of
actually
offer
alright.
we
I'm
can
not too
take.
disappointed with that, in all honesty. So, yeah, you know, like, we'll have upgrades coming, hopefully, for, you know, if we can, I reckon we can win the championship this season. I honestly do. If we, you know, do well. But yeah, so there we go. So we are now in a much better place than where we were. Obviously, I have no idea if we stayed with Williams where we would have ended up, if you know what I mean. Like, maybe we could have ended up the best if we stayed with Williams. But, you know, I'm not too disappointed either, because, yeah, you know. Why does it say Lewis Hamilton is at a Haas? Because obviously he ain't at Haas. Bit of a technical glitch there. Now it's saying Lewis Hamilton's at Red Bull, so Red Bull's got 3 drivers this year. You know, all normal. Now he's at Mercedes. Jeez, it keeps on changing. It doesn't know where he is. You know, now he's been demoted to Williams. Bit of a glitch in the game right now. Oh, so for season 1 we were at Mercedes. That makes sense. So yeah. Oh well, small glitch in the game. I'm pretty sure it'll rectify itself at some point. Now he's in Force India. Brilliant. But yeah. So that's it then. For season 2, and look forward to starting season 3. As I say, if I get time tomorrow, I will bring it out tomorrow. If not, it will be brought out either on Friday or Saturday, the start of season 3 with Mercedes F1 replacing Lewis Hamilton as the new top dog. Well, I wouldn't say top dog quite just yet, but the new driver or lead driver in Mercedes, of course. And hopefully we'll be able to win races and maybe go on to win a title with the Mercedes team, of course. And let's just see what we can do. Obviously, when looking at the, when we look at the R&D progress, the vehicle performance comparison, actually we're not too far away from maybe the likes of Red Bull and Ferrari, probably about half a tenth or a tenth behind Ferrari, and maybe 2/10 of a second behind Red Bull, of course. So based on that, and we've probably got half a second lead over Renault F1. So based on that, I would like to get race wins 100% this season, multiple podiums, and if possible, bear in mind, a championship. But yeah, main target gotta be race wins and podiums. Can't look at the championship maybe until later on in the season, and we'll have to then just see where we are later on in the season. But who knows? Maybe we can consider that as a target, of course. But yeah, in terms of the grid shake-up though, amazingly, Red Bull, these top 3 have actually changed quite massively. Ferrari have always been the number 2, if that makes sense. But in terms of the top 3, it's nice to see how Ferrari has gone from actually number 1 to number 2, stayed there, still win championships, and Mercedes have fallen from number 2 to number 1, then gone back to number 3. So and Red Bull's gone from number 3 to number 1. So that's nice. It's also nice to see Renault maintaining progress and maintaining their spot, and McLaren also in there as well and maintaining what they've got. So yeah, I just want to have a quick look at the R&Ds already made, or the progress already made in the team. So quite a lot of this I've noticed. I think that's to help with reducing the resource. So yeah, quite a lot of that, and reliability. I know that they've been working on getting the parts and reliability, so it's quite interesting to see what way they've actually gone, if that makes sense, in terms of with engine development. So they haven't felt like it's a need or a necessary, in all fairness. In terms of chassis, third best chassis and third best actual aero package. So yeah, I think the aim should be to get actually the engine. If we work on the engine a little bit this season, then that should close the gap to Red Bull a little bit, because otherwise, and maybe also close the gap to Red Bull and the chassis. Don't worry too much, because we're quite equal, all the big 3 in the aero side of things. So yeah, we will make progress, hopefully. So I'm not too worried about things. And in fact, we've come to a very healthy team. So yeah, see you all next time for the next round, for round number 1, season 3.